G'day trendsetters, this is my pot of recently planted ginger. Recently as in about 5 minutes ago. And I'll go through a few steps on what I've done to get to this stage. But firstly, I'm fully aware that there's probably a gazillion, if not 2 gazillion videos on how to plant and grow ginger on YouTube. So this is mine just in case you haven't watched the other gazillion or 2 other videos. And the planting part, I'd have to say, is pretty easy. I think the hard part is the care and maintenance of getting it from this stage right through till almost midwinter when you harvest. And I'll get to that in due course. But firstly, or first things first, is your pot. So this is a 410 by 310 millimeter pot, which I'll be using for the purpose of this exercise. And basically I like it because of all the holes it has in the bottom. Because in this case I will be placing this pot directly on the ground. Now if you live in a balcony or your backyard's all concrete, you're not going to be able to do that. And it won't really matter so long as you've got some sort of adequate drainage. But you will need at least a 400 mil. 400 is the measurement across the top, the diameter, so as to have enough size to develop a good crop of ginger when the time comes. And it's probably a smaller pot as you would want. If you go back down to a 300 mil pot, then you only put 1 piece of ginger in the center and let that grow. But I've got 3 pieces of ginger in here, as you'll find out. Secondly is the potting mix. Use the best available potting mix you can find. In my case, this is a Searles, which is a local brand in my area. Searles Premium Potting Mix, but I've also mixed it 50-50 with my own homemade compost. I had to sieve my compost because it's full of sticks and twigs and stones and all sorts of stuff, which is fine in the garden. I usually just put my compost straight in the garden. I like the sticks and twigs in it to create little air spaces and pockets for microbes and fungi and all that sort of stuff. But in a pot, I had to sieve it. I filled it 2/3 of the way up. As I fill the pot, I will firm it down as I go, mainly because if you don't firm it down, after a period of time, a month, 6 weeks or something like that, the whole thing will settle. And the other thing is, if you firm your potting mix, if you get a windy day, then there's a better chance that your plant won't get blown out of the pot. So you don't have to like stomp it in, just a reasonable press down and we'll be good. And then I place my ginger in, and then I just topped it off with straight premium potting mix. And that's about it. I have had it, my ginger that has been soaking for a week, is nice and firm now. When I put it in here, it was starting to get a bit soft. But it's been soaking in, that's Seasol Gold. But I've had that, so the ginger soaking in there now for a week. And you can see that tip there might be doing something. So I placed them in and I've covered them. What I need to do now is find a nice, warm, sunny spot to place these. As I've mentioned, I'm going to place it on the soil so as the roots can grow through the pot into the soil. Just an added benefit to help the plant grow. But like if you're in a patio or a rented property and you don't know if you're not going to have to pull it out of the ground, then just put a little saucer under it to hold the water and stop your concrete from getting dirty and stuff like that. Oh, look at that. Perfect. This is my mandarin tree up in the back corner of my yard. I'm going to place it here mainly because mandarins, or citrus in general, have a fairly shallow root system, so you can't do a lot of work around them as in growing vegetables and stuff like that. So placing this pot on top of the soil here, twofold, will almost act as a mulch to the citrus below, and also any nutrient that happens to get flushed through the pot into the soil my mandarin tree is going to be very appreciative of it. Plus the water. Mandarin citrus love water, so any water I put on this that flows through the pot will benefit the mandarin. So we've got a little bit of a symbiotic relationship happening here. I'll come back from time to time as things happen, as the spikes come through, as it grows. If it's a hot day, we'll see how they're faring and stuff like that. So stay tuned and we'll see how we go. Cheers. Once I've found where I want to place it, which I've got a spot in mind, I'll water it today well, and I will only water it then until I start to see maybe the top ½ inch or so of the soil, the potting mix drying out. Then I'll give it another water. At this stage I don't want to give it a lot of water. Probably take about a month from now. We've just begun October, which for us is the second week of spring. Probably another month before I see any little spikes coming up, but as soon as I do, then I will start watering and I will start giving fortnightly applications of liquid fertilizer, because they are a tropical plant. I'm only in a temperate climate, and they will need ample water and they will need an ample source of nutrient. There's plenty of nutrient in here, but a bit more won't hurt. And that's it. I've just got to make sure they don't dry out too much on a really hot day, which means watering before I go to work. And hopefully in about 9 months' time, we'll have a bonza harvest. Wait and see. That's it. That's my gazillion and one video on how to plant and grow ginger in a pot. There is a second way to do this, which I haven't got enough ginger in pots for, but when the time is right, I will make that video as well. Okay, cheers, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. It all helps my YouTube world go around, and I'll look forward to seeing you in the next video.